Hey guys, welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. My name is Jenny and I'm going to read a few Reddits right now. I normally either do Reddits or I talk about where you're spending your social media currency, what influencers are good, which ones are bad. I'm all over the place. I just love to create and I love to talk, and that's what I'm doing. And I am just going to grow organically. I'm not trying to make a big splash. I'm a little fish in a big old pond, but I do love creating content. So, okay, my 24 female boyfriend, 23 male, and I are arguing over birth control. How can I see his perspective? Okay. Quick backstory. I got my IUD a while ago. Around the first month, my boyfriend and I started talking. He even came to the appointment. He's mentioned his dislike for it in the past due to it being uncomfortable at times, but when I did ask if it's okay, he says it's fine. Fast forward about 7 months later into our relationship, and he brings up a bet saying, if I stop smoking for a year, you have to take out your IUD. I definitely hesitated at first and told him that I don't know about that because in my mind, we are nowhere in a position to put ourselves at risk for potentially having kids. We're still getting our careers together and neither of us have our own place. Good points. He took offense to my hesitation and started being petty, saying that I made this decision of getting an IUD without him getting a say-so. He also said that he's going to go ahead and adopt a son. Good luck. Because that's his decision and I don't get a say-so. And then he also brought up this analogy saying that if he were to get his testicles removed, that's his decision. I won't get a say-so because he sees this as the equivalent to me getting my IUD. Overall, in his mind, he told me that it's the principle of everything and that he didn't get to make a decision on my IUD. Poor guy. Aw. I guess, and at the end, I will tell you when I really think about this. I'll hold it till the end, okay? I guess what I'm really confused on is when I first got my IUD, he didn't complain about it too much, and he did express the poking at times, but that was all. During our argument, I asked him if this was the overall issue, because if so, I have no problem going to the OB and getting them to cut it down. And he still insisted that it's not the issue. The issue to him is the principle. In my mind, I'm thinking I'm doing our relationship a favor by staying protected until we're ready and prepared to potentially risk bringing a child into this world. And he says he didn't ask for any of that. Why'd you go to the appointment, dude? Okay, I'm holding it. During my initial hesitation, I told him that I didn't know because I want to be prepared, and he told me that I sounded unconfident and not wife material, as I was explaining how I like to plan things and strategize before making a decision. But what's so bad about waiting to live within stability and then wanting to act upon the goals I have? Nothing. He also mentioned that we both can't be dominant in this relationship. I can admit that I didn't blindly follow him once he told me to take out the IUD, and I think because it was his idea of wanting to remove it, that he should have been the one to lead the conversation for us to come together and think of solutions. I think the whole argument could have simply been avoided if he noticed once I hesitated. He could have said he has a plan and just gave me reassurance since me getting the IUD removed is his idea again. Once I expressed this, he said he got petty because I didn't trust him to have a plan once I got it removed. I'm not a mind reader, and there's no action being done that I can visually rely on to make me have that sense of security. But he still got upset with me for having the hesitation. Sorry if this is confusing. I'm honestly confused myself, but what is it that I'm not seeing, and am I missing something? We're on the verge of breaking up over this and gotten the most heated argument we've ever had. Thanks. For one thing, sir, not your body. And a second thing, you've never had an IUD. It's more painful for her than it is for you. Suck it up. And a third thing, you said if I quit smoking cigarettes for a year, you have to take out your IUD. How are those things even related? You don't even have your own place to live. You did not say, hey, I'm going to start using condoms so you don't have to have an IUD. Or anything. But no, as a woman, we want to protect ourselves and make sure we don't bring a child into this world when we are not ready. If she is not ready, then maybe you need to find someone who is, because it sounds like she's a very intelligent woman and she's not a dumb broad like you want her to be. Sounds like you want her to get pregnant so you can keep her around, in my honest opinion, okay? Okay, this is what someone commented. He is offended he didn't have a say in your personal medical decisions. Your body, your choice. This is an insane argument. I truly believe he wants to baby trap you, and if not, that he feels alarmingly entitled to control over your body. 7 months is not that long, and this is a truly massive red flag. Please, for the sake of women everywhere, break up with him over this. I agree. He'll remove his testicles. He'll adopt a son. Who uses such things as threats and points in an argument? They'd almost be comical if they weren't so alarmingly dumb. Let's move on to another one. That I really hope they break up, because wow, honey, you deserve better. You deserve so much better. Okay, second Reddit. Am I overreacting? AIO for being upset that my boyfriend allows his ex-wife to live with him rent-free. My boyfriend, 49 male, and I, 32 NB, non-binary, have been together since March of this year. When we met, he was living in his apartment with 3 of his kids, ages 13 to 18. Some life changes happened, and his kids were giving him a hard time, and things started getting financially difficult for him recently. His ex-wife / baby mama was living a couple hours away, so she couldn't help much. That is, until they decided that the best option was for her to move back in. I didn't like the idea, but if it was going to help out, then why not? Then I found out that he can't afford a new bed, so they are sleeping on the same bed. Not to mention that I learned that she is also living rent-free. I get living rent-free if the kids were little due to the hard work with little kids, but the youngest is 13. I feel like it's not fair to him that she gets to live rent-free while he has to deal with the financial struggles. Not to mention, I have never been allowed to step foot into his apartment because she's always there, and I have never been able to have a single night with him. My boyfriend can't seem to understand why I am upset with all this. Am I overthinking? Should I just let it go? You should just break up with him. He's sleeping in the same bed as his ex-wife. They were married once. They know each other. See what the comments said. You should break up with this man. He clearly has feelings for his wife to be sharing a bed with her. This is ridiculous, and you're probably being cheated on. Probably. Or she's the other woman. You never know. I almost fell out of my chair laughing. This has to be a rage bait. There's no way someone is that naive and stupid. No. It might not be rage bait. I mean, it didn't make me mad. It made me feel like, honey, why are you putting up with that? Because, stuff like that does happen. It really does. This was just posted. I have to rearrange this, you guys. I left my stand and everything at my mom's house. But that's okay. We will work with what we have, and I'll do my best. This may or may not make it to YouTube. I don't know. But this says, AITA for reporting a plumber and getting him fired after he clogged my toilet and peed everywhere. Okay, so I feel super awkward even posting this, but I really don't know if I overreacted or not. I'm 22, female, and I just moved into my first apartment alone a few months ago. Congratulations. I was having an issue with my kitchen sink leaking, so I called a local plumbing company that had good reviews. The plumber they sent seemed normal at first, a bit older, maybe 40s. I'm almost 40. Kind of quiet, but friendly. Halfway through fixing the sink, he asked if he could use my bathroom. I said yes, obviously, because what else am I going to say, right? He was in there for no joke, 15 to 20 minutes. I started hearing the toilet flush over and over, and I got kind of worried. So I knocked on the door and asked if he was okay, and he just said, yeah, 1 sec. Oh my gosh. When he finally came out, he looked super weird and flustered, didn't make eye contact, and literally rushed out saying he needed to go get a part and would come back. I was confused, but just kind of let him leave. When I went into the bathroom, I literally almost gagged. The toilet was completely clogged and full to the top. sorry, this is gross. There was pee all over the seat and the floor. My bath mat was basically soaked. It smelled so bad I had to open the windows. I tried plunging it, but nothing worked. Oh my God. I ended up calling another plumber that same day, and it cost me almost $300 extra. I also had to throw out my bath mat and clean everything for hours. I was honestly so upset I started crying. Oh, after that, I called the plumbing company and explained what happened. I also sent photos because I didn't think they would believe me otherwise. The owner was super apologetic and said they'd handle it. A few hours later, he called me back and said they fired the plumber and that it apparently wasn't the first time he had complaints. Oh my God. Now my mom and some of my friends are saying I went too far and that I basically ruined this guy's life over a bathroom accident. They think I should have asked for a refund or let him come back and fix it. I didn't want him to get fired. I was just so grossed out and really felt disrespected. I don't know if I overreacted or not, and now I feel super guilty. Am I the a-hole? Now, this was just posted like 2 minutes ago. I do not think that you are the a-hole because I would call too, and obviously he's had other complaints on him. He's a plumber, and he clogged your toilet. He's not a very good plumber. I mean, gross, okay? That was gross. AITAH for telling a guy to shut up during a job interview. All right, this is the last one. I was interviewing this guy for a very good software engineering position. He passed the first round, and both I and everyone involved in the second round really liked his resume and experience. On paper, he had everything we were looking for, and honestly, this looked like a life-changing opportunity for him. Then he shows up, very serious and not smiling at all. I'm used to that in tech interviews, and I understand it can be an intimidating environment. We did a round of introductions, and then he opened the interview by saying, "Let me tell you a little bit about myself." We said, "Okay, go for it." He started talking about his personal and professional background. After about 3 minutes, I jumped in to ask a follow-up question based on something he mentioned. He replied, "I will answer. Will you just give me a moment?" and continued talking. A coworker jumped in with another question, and he said the same thing to her. At this point, we were kind of looking at each other, but decided to let him continue and give him the benefit of the doubt. But after more than 5 minutes, I jumped in again with another question. I had to talk over him to do it. He finally paused and answered, but in such a long-winded way that he ended up veering into another topic. Oh, he's one of those. I do that sometimes. My coworker asked another question, and the same thing happened. At this point, I was ready to end the interview. I tried to politely wrap it up several times, but he was unable to read the room and just kept talking. I finally raised my voice slightly and said something like, "Thank you very much for sharing your background. In the interest of time, I'd like to ask if you have any questions for us." This is standard protocol and helps us to prepare answers for future interviews. He asked a question about the team. As I was answering, he raised his finger and interrupted to talk more about his background. I let it go. Then he asked another question, which my coworker started to answer, but again, he spoke over her to talk about himself. I tried once more to interrupt politely, but he kept talking. At that point, I was done. I said, "John, you really have to shut up and listen." He was surprised as my coworker, but he finally stopped talking. He was surprised, as was my coworker, but he finally stopped talking, and I continued, "You walked into this room with a 99% chance of getting the job. Now that chance is 0. The only reason is because in less than 15 minutes, you've demonstrated that you don't have the capacity to listen at all. So I'm telling you now, you're not going to get the job. But if you take anything away from this interview, let it be this. No matter how good you are technically, if you can't listen, you'll never excel in this career or in life." He apologized and said, "Can we start again?" I replied, "You had your chance. Best of luck in your future interviews. Make sure you listen." Looking back, I know I could have handled that differently, but I still feel bad for the guy. I mean, he didn't shut up. And somebody said, not the a-hole. Honestly, he needed to hear it from someone in a position of hiring authority. Sure, his ego may be bruised, but that likely needed to happen. Agreed. So many other people agree. Agree. I do understand I do talk too much, but I can reel it back in. When I catch myself, if you catch yourself talking too much, try to reel it back in. Someone said, I interviewed somebody like this once. Seemed good over the phone. Resume was solid. Brought him in to the office for an interview and couldn't get a word in edgewise. He completely derailed me from asking any questions myself. And honestly, I wish I stopped him like the OP. But after 45 minutes, I told him I had a hard stop. On his way out, he hit the snack bar and he loaded up his jacket with 2 drinks, a couple bags of chips, and some cookies. To be fair, I offered him to take something when he sat down, and he initially declined. But 5 things seemed like too much. Wow, he took 5 things out of the snack bar. You actually gave him more feedback than many people would have, so you're not the a-hole. Right? He needed to hear that, and he needed to hear that from someone in a hiring position, just like that other person said. Yeah, you really got to be careful. Listen, and take it in. Don't listen just to respond. Listen to understand. So anyway, that's it for today. I'm going to wrap this up. Maybe I'll get it edited and out today. Who knows? I hope that you guys have a good day, good weekend. Take care of yourselves. Take care of others. Get outside. Drink your water. Take your vitamins. Do all the things you're supposed to do as an adult. And I'll catch you in the next one.